I just sat through a movie, loosely defined. Uh, it has, I guess the primary title of this thing is Dark Harvest 2: The Maze. I've never seen Dark Harvest 1, but I don't think this is actually related to it in any way, because it also has the title of The Maze, the movie. And I do want to point out that when it says The Maze, it means that in both senses. It's a pun. It is a pun title of a horror movie. The Maze as in corn, and as in, like, a corn maze. Ha! Ha! It's, yeah, a horror movie. This is incredibly incompetently made. Like, I was astounded. Usually, most of these movies on this list are just kind of mediocre-y, badly edited, generally badly written, badly directed, or really badly acted sort of things. Just, there's some aspect of the movie that's kind of bad. In this, there is no aspect of the movie that's good. The only movie I could possibly, compare this to as far as in technical incompetence is Birdemic. And I actually think this is worse. Birdemic actually has sort of a flow of plot. Like, as bad as the editing and, particularly the sound editing and everything is, it does actually kind of move along at a click, whereas this movie really repeats things a lot. It doesn't really have a sense of itself and a sense of motion. It literally is wandering around in circles like you're in a corn maze. Most of this movie is really awkward shots of various characters yelling other characters' names while wandering around a corn maze. They also do this really shitty thing, where if you've ever seen, the only other thing I can think of where this was popular was during Ang Lee's Hulk. They do this thing where they do like a picture and have them like going across the screen to show different shots at the same time, and it looks really dumb. It looks bad because the Ang Lee Hulk movie, for all of its failures, is actually a well-produced, very expensive movie. This is not. This was like the lowest possible budget movie you could ever make, and so it looks bad. It looks really bad. And there are a lot of those moments. Even the opening titles, these are the worst opening titles I've seen in any movie. Basically, they use black bars and just black space to erase parts of the screen to show show the credits. It's really weird. You've got to look at it. I wish you could find a YouTube video of just the credits to put in here, but I haven't been able to find one yet. It really is. You look at it and think somebody said this was good enough for a movie. I don't know. It looks bad. In any case, all of the acting. This is a movie that is guilty particularly of bad child acting. There are a number of children, at least 4, 2 creepy girls that are clearly ripped off of The Shining, that are ghosts, and then 2 daughters of the main character, and all of them are just the worst child actors you'll ever see. I mean, to call them child actors is to be a bit generous. They're not actors, they're just children. They're just children that somebody filmed. I mean, you can tell they're directly reading lines, and even the lines they're reading don't sound like anything a human would ever say. So it's all just, it's bad all the way around. Even if you had a good child actor, if they were reading those lines, it would look dumb. It would just come off bad. So, yeah, the movie's The Maze, this movie. To go into the plot, a couple girls are murdered, and then later there's a corn maze, and this guy who is a psychic, which I guess is sort of established towards the beginning of the movie, kind of, has a premonition that his girls are going to get hurt. And apparently he's had these premonitions before, as we see in a flashback sequence that looks exactly like the premonitions. So it's unclear whether it's the past or the future, but it's established to be the past. They probably should have thought that through. So he's a psychic, and he sees something's going wrong, so he goes to save his girls in the corn maze. So he goes wandering through the corn maze for the next 3/4 of the movie, screaming his girls' names and trying to find them. The girls wander through the corn maze, getting freaked out and messing with each other and filming things. Eventually, they find the creepy ghost girls, who are not evil. There is an evil corn husker man, I guess, who is in the maze, trying to hurt people. It's not even established. He's not supernatural. There's actually nothing supernatural happening. It's just everyone's really bad at mazes. As far as I can tell, apart from the ghost girls, there is nothing supernaturally influencing this maze. It's not a magical labyrinth or anything. It's just everyone's really bad at mazes. If they really wanted to bust out of there, they could just crash through the corn, I guess. So yeah, there's not. What really happens in this movie is the girls just kind of get lost in corn. They sort of loosely say at one point that they're trapped in there by some sort of supernatural, but it's really implied that the serial killer guy or whatever is not like he's not like a demon or anything. He's just a dude, and he's very much established to be just a dude. So yeah, this movie doesn't make itself very clear. There are a lot of it was clear this is just an incompetently made movie, just all around. And it's, the premise could have been something interesting if put in better hands. But yeah, this is just, this was one of those movies that, probably the biggest thing that can kill a movie is if you don't know how to pace your movie. And the pacing's so bad. Like, most of the movie, you're sitting there listening to this father just yell his girls' names in a corn maze and confusedly wandering around as, the light fades and it gets dark. Then there's a sequence where he digs for minutes and minutes and minutes in the dirt. And, the killer walks up behind him and then doesn't do anything. Oh, man, this movie was tough to watch. It's still sinking in with me a little bit. I'm hesitant to say this is the worst movie I've watched on the list so far, but it's way up there. Turks in Space was probably worse, and Starfighters was probably more boring, but not by much. This was an unexpected surprise of a shitty movie. This is not one that's fun to watch. Don't show this to your friends. Don't buy this movie. It's just a pain. It's a pain to sit through. There's nothing to laugh at. There's very little that happens. It just feels like somebody put a movie together on YouTube. But unfortunately, the thing that shocks me is this was not like a YouTube movie. This movie won an award at a film festival of some sort I assume they were the only ones in their category or something. There's got to be some cruel something that allowed this to win an award. But on the plus side, I'm sure there are many young filmmakers out there that will see this movie and realize that they could actually make a movie better than this quite easily with no money. So that's a possible plus side of this movie. As for other plus sides of this movie, there are none. Don't watch it.
It's been almost 1 year since the disappearance of the Nutty Girls. Word around here is that they were taken from their farm near Grove Pasture. Now the proud owner of the Maize, a 14-acre cornfield filled with ghosts, goblins, and much more. So kids, keep your eyes peeled. Stay out in the open, because you never know what's around the corner on Halloween.
Hello? Is anybody here? Come on, girls. Please answer.
Dad? Dad, is that you?
Girls, run! It's not me!